Well, good morning, everybody. It's morning for me. I don't know where you're at, but it's still morning for me. I'm Ed Parcaut here with Brian Galke, and we're ACES 53. ACES 53 stands for what I learned in college, which is shocking. I learned something in college. ACES stands for attitude, commitment, enthusiasm, and smile, which you bring to the table in sales. Then there's a thing called a joker, which is your unique ability you bring to the table. Either you've learned it or it's natural. That's part of the 53 because that's the first joker in the deck, and that's who we are, ACES 53. And then we normally bring a guest on Thursday, and so we brought one today. But Brian, why don't you tell me who our guest is, and you can bring him in.
Sure. So Atiba is in the video marketing space, and I actually met him at Traffic Conversion when you and I were there 2 years ago. And there was this guy up on MC, and he was wearing a Superman hat. And then I noticed every time I bumped into him, he was wearing a Superman hat everywhere, which, I got to hate him because I'm a Batman fan. But so I got to know him at Traffic and Conversion. But then he came to an event here in Dallas last October or January. I guess it's been a year or so. And we really got to sit and talk there. And then we ended up, ironically enough, hopping on a call, doing some videos and things like that. So we thought he'd just be the perfect guest to bring in today.
All right.
Yeah.
You gonna bring him in, or
I am.
I got to do everything today, or what? Jeez Louise.
Yeah. So
hey, there
Atiba
is.
De Souza. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So first and foremost, for anyone looking at this, Brian and I are not in the same room. Right. We just have the same background.
Actually, it's a little different. It's totally different brick.
Yeah,
it's different brick.
Yeah, but we both have good taste.
I was expecting someone to go, and somebody to go, I'm Superman, or something like that.
Well, they both have Marthas, right? So at least we can agree on that.
Yes. How you doing today, fellas?
We're doing great.
Good. Thank you for having me. Appreciate being here.
We appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Well, and one of the other
so far anyway, we don't know. We'll let you know at the end.
So far so good.
I really saw
for a few
him,
seconds. That's amazing.
A week ago. Yeah, a week ago in LA. So I flew out to LA to have a dinner and attend like the very first part of a mastermind or an event. And Atiba and we got to hang out a little bit. And I told him I wasn't coming because originally I wasn't. And then I was going to fly in, do the dinner, and fly back out 5 hours later, and got convinced to stay over next night. So I got to hang out a little bit with Atiba a week ago in Venice, LA, that area. But I had to leave. And you said you just got home this past weekend?
Yeah, just a couple of days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was great hanging out in LA for a week, man. It's good.
Venice Beach.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Okay, here's the problem with you guys. It's like saying I'm from San Diego. I was in San Diego. I'm North County. I was in all the different cities. LA is a huge term. You're talking LA County. Venice Beach is not LA. It's close to it.
Yeah.
It's close to it.
Okay. When you're from DC, Venice.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People say you're from LA. Well, LA County, maybe, right? But it's like San Diego. If you're not on the coast in San Diego and you say you're from San Diego, where are you? I'm in Escondido. Okay, that's 30 minutes from the coast.
That's not San Diego.
Yeah, exactly. San Diego County.
Yeah.
No, Venice Beach is a great place. It's just a totally different.
Funny you say that. Now, whenever I see an event that's local here and they go, "Oh, it's in Dallas," I'm like, "But is it in Dallas?"
Right, 30 minutes outside of Dallas.
Right. So
absolutely.
But
because the one event before that, the one event before that was in LA supposedly, and that was in North Hollywood.
Right.
And most people wouldn't know the difference unless you're from there.
Yeah. Right.
Now
it's like I'm sure in DC where you're from, everything. Where in DC you live.
Yeah, because it takes an hour to get anywhere in DC.
Yeah. For
everybody, that's just because the politicians are in the way. Yeah.
The thing about Venice is it's nice during the day. It's really bad at night. Like you don't want to go anywhere, and all the bars shut down at 10 o'clock. I'm like, where are we? Where like they had a beautiful rooftop. They closed that at 9:30. Then we went to a place that was next door the first night. They shut down at 10 o'clock. They're like, no, we don't want people around here. The closest place is a mile away. And we were in pretty much center Venice Beach, right by the what was the outdoor workout place, the big gym that was famous for all the time. I forgot. I took a picture of it, but Muscle Beach.
Yeah.
But at night, don't want to be there.
Not at all.
But Sunday, Monday, Tuesday nights, there's always nothing open, no matter where we went.
Well, there's nothing busy, but usually something was still open. It may not be packed appropriately. But anywho, going back to, so we talked about how we met Atiba and
Mhm.
kind of he came in the same group. So we talked about this. I can't remember if we talked about this. Oh yeah, sorry. When we did their intro with you, was how did you get to be an MC in traffic and conversion? Kind of give us. Let me go back a step. How did you get started in the space, and then how did you eventually end up on stage at traffic and conversion?
Yeah, it's a really great question that you asked, Brian. And so I've been in marketing in some way, shape, or form since 1996. Marketing and technology specifically, right? So I've been around, a little bit of a long time. So I got all these gray hairs like you, brother. We've been around for a while, right? And a few years ago, I started joining masterminds.
Mhm.
And honestly, that was part of the key there for me because within the masterminds, I started making a name for myself and getting known. And it was that actually got me to one, speak at traffic and conversion, and two, MC at traffic and conversion because people started seeing, because in one of those masterminds, I started actually taking over one of the groups and people
Yes.
saying, okay, this guy really can control and master a room. And then someone in the group suggested me to traffic and conversion because they were supposed to do it and they couldn't. And they
Mhm.
said, hey, this guy would be really good.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we were joking around about your hat earlier in the Superman hat. So
Yes.
much like mine when I'm speaking is the best, but when we go anywhere, that's how people know to find you in a crowd. So we had a guest on 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he wears a red hat everywhere because that's kind of
Mhm.
his logo. And
Oh,
so,
Larry?
yeah, Larry.
Yeah, I know Larry.
Yeah. So we had him on because he lives here in Dallas, and we're both part of Success North Dallas. And he was on 2, 3 weeks ago, and that's what he's talking about. Like sometimes to go to the bathroom, he's got to take the hat off, right? So he can get somewhere, and then come back and put the hat back on. How did
Yeah.
the Superman hat become your thing?
Man, that's a great story. And first and foremost, let me start by saying you started off by talking about you being a Batman fan, and I'm
Yeah.
cool with that, right? I am not a Superman fan. And most people get that all wrong and think, oh, you must love Superman. And I love the people who love Superman and come up and have nerdy conversations with me, and I have no clue what they're talking about. So what happened was, so I coached football for a long time, high level
Mhm.
football, really high level athletes, and I took over a high school team about 12 years ago, actually 12, man, I'm getting old, 12, 13 years ago. And I'm on my way to practice for the first day of practice, middle of August in DC, 2-a-day practice, and I forget my hat at home.
Mhm.
And then you can't be outside that long without a hat,
Right.
right? And so I have to pull
Not
into
with
the
your
look,
guys' hairstyle.
not with our hairstyle for
That's
sure,
I got the
right? Y'all,
same
yeah,
one. I
okay,
got the same one.
yeah, come on, right? And so I pull into a local Walmart, and I'm like, I got to find a bucket hat, and they had two. They had the fisherman bucket hat with the net on top. When I'm
Mhm.
like, well, I may as well not wear a hat because it's still beaming right down on me, or a
Right.
Superman hat. So I'm like, Superman it is. And I put on that Superman hat that day, and I
Mhm.
wore it for the rest of that season. And then the kids and the coaches started buying me Superman hats that season. And that's where it all started. And it just stuck
Yeah.
all of these years later.
That is funny. People come up and want to talk to you about the comic books. I'm the same way. Like I watch the movies, but I don't know. I've never read the comics. I don't know anything about it. So,
And
I
they're
never
not
even
called, they're
owned a
called
comic.
graphic novels. They're not
oh,
called.
graphic novel.
See that's how dumb we are.
Yeah.
No, I just know from hearing. The problem is I have so much knowledge from just listening that it's all up there.
Yeah,
Just know I know how to use it, but I have it there. All that
there you
useless
go.
knowledge. I mean, I can tell you every line from Joe Dirt. That's how bad it is.
Well, did you see on Hulu they have Joe Dirt
He's from the
Part
90s. He
2?
knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, they've got Part 2 on Hulu. I just watched that the other
Oh,
week.
really?
It's pretty good. I don't think anything can ever beat the original one, but it's still pretty funny. It's got most of the same characters in it too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I hope another dog didn't have its ball stuck on the porch.
Yeah. Well, actually, the dog was there again, but it was solved in a different manner. We'll just put it
That's
that way.
good.
You guys have to watch it. Okay. So you went from coaching football. How did you get into this industry?
Well, that started in 96.
Mhm.
So in 1996, me and two friends sat in what was then my mother's basement
Mhm.
and said we wanted to start a company. I had some clients and we started a company. And back then it was called a computer consulting firm. because that's all you called it back then
Mhm.
when you were doing anything with computers, right?
Yep.
But we were building websites in 1996. Matter of fact, we actually built one of the very first GIFs that was on the internet ever.
Wow.
And so I see all this stuff now and I'm like, y'all are so late. We did this in 96. Right?
Yeah.
But because we were a computer consulting firm, and fellas, let me tell you, we were running wire in asbestos filled ceilings. We were setting up printers. We
Yeah.
were building websites. We were installing printers, whatever it took. And
Mhm.
that's why we were a computer consulting firm, right?
Mhm.
And because of that, we were constantly learning new things. Every client brought new challenges, and the web was at its true infancy.
Mhm.
And we were doing searches and finding websites, and we had all these bookmarks. And bookmarking today sucks.
Mhm.
In 1996, it was way worse. But we had hundreds and thousands of bookmarks, and we're like, how do we find anything?
Mhm.
So we wrote a search engine. And we actually wrote a search engine and had a search engine online in 1996. Yes, I beat Google. We
But they
sold
beat
it
you.
for
Yahoo.
we sold it for $2,500, y'all, and we thought we were hot stuff.
That's great.
And now they call it Google.
Yeah.
Right? And so we kind of missed the boat just by a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Just
you
a little.
learned. What did you learn from that?
Well, what we learned from that is number one, that we were visionaries, that we could see where things were going, that we
Mhm.
understood what was coming. Right. That was one of the things that we learned from that. The other thing, big thing that we learned from that is sometimes not having access to people will
Mhm.
hinder you.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Because that was the big difference between us and Google. They knew who to go to and sell it.
Yeah.
The people we convinced someone to buy it for $2,500.
Mhm.
Like, we begged for that.
What did they do with it?
Not a whole lot, actually.
No.
Okay. But either way, our circle was way too small.
Mhm.
We did not know the people who can actually help us take the idea and propel it further. So it's not enough to just be able to see, but you also have to have the network of people around you who can actually help you propel. Otherwise, your idea just dies.
So what you're
Yeah.
saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know?
No, as even more than that. And so this was something I taught my kids from birth, right?
Mhm.
Talking about what I learned. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and more importantly, who knows you.
Correct.
Okay. Because just because I can say I know Perry Belcher, Perry Belcher doesn't know me, don't mean Jack.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
So it is, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so that's one of the things that you're kind of known for is for anybody who's going to follow you, we can pop back up the how to find you. There's your website. They can find you there. I think that takes them to your LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll
Yep.
take you there and then they can follow. What's interesting that you do is you're traveling quite a bit around the US, going to different masterminds. How many
Mhm.
different masterminds are you in?
7.
7 different masterminds.
Yeah.
Now, and this one is a cool thing. What did you start about a year and a half ago every time you go somewhere for a mastermind?
Yeah. So one of the things in every city that I go to, I do something called dinner with friends. And I started dinner with friends, and it's grown into something different. But I started it honestly because I'd show up in a city and there would be 7 people who wanted to have dinner with me, and I was there for 3 days.
Mhm.
And so either I ate a lot and got really, really fat, or I disappointed a lot of people. Right. And so I started the concept of dinner with friends, of just bringing people together,
Mhm.
and saying, hey, y'all want to have dinner with me? Come all at the same time. Let's do it all at once.
Yes.
What ended up happening, though, was I started seeing that, number one, I might pull together 8 different people for dinner with friends, and they
Mhm.
would represent 4, 5, 6 different areas of my life. People who live in the same city, have no idea that each other exists, and are
Mhm.
all amazing at what they do. Because that's what I collect. I collect people who are amazing at what they do.
Mhm.
Right? People who can solve their problem right there in their own city, and they didn't know these people existed. And so I started watching connections start to happen and people starting to do business together coming from this dinner with friends. So what we've done now is it's come so far where it's now intentional how we bring people together, who we bring together, the connections that are made and formed, and the differences that it makes in their lives and their businesses past the dinner. And we're creating a network of all of those people to come together and really help and support each other as well.
Well, and you've grown this quite a bit because now it's automated so that, for example, you're coming to Dallas this week and I got the thing, or you're in Dallas, and that you got the notification, hey, we're going to be in town this day here. We're going to do a dinner. And I think you go high level for it. So I got a notification that you were coming to town. Do you want to attend? Yes or no? And the other thing that you do that's smart is you have that little graphic that shows you on a plane. It goes like zoo, 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 wherever you're going. So it catches people's attention to let you know that don't know you're coming in town, or you didn't think that they were going to be out there, to let people know, hey, we might be in the same city at the same time.
Yes. That, and it's so of all the social media stuff that I do, and we do a lot, that graphic of I'm coming to town is probably everyone's favorite, and it gets the most traction. There's so many times when I get messages. Dennis, when I was in Dallas with you, Dennis, you messaged me and he said, I'm in Dallas too. Let's do dinner.
No, he would say a meeting because he likes to go eat meat somewhere.
but that's Dennis Yu. He saw it and reached out to me. Right. And we got together and we went to have boba, boa, however you say it, the buns. Right. Somewhere in Dallas last year. But that happens more often than I can even tell you. That post endears people and just says, hey, I'm there too. Let's get together.
Yeah. I need to steal that one from you at some point.
Yeah, so feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Airlines looking for their cut, but
aren't they always?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Man, and I just a little bit of a rant on that. I just don't understand airline prices anymore. Okay. No. I went to book a flight from DC to Vegas 6 months early, and it was $1,300. I'm like, it's 6 months early.
Yeah. For me, it's the hotels. The hotels are more expensive than the airfare is now. I mean, everywhere you go, hotels used to be $120, $140. Now, almost $200 minimum anywhere I go in the US.
It's called inflation.
It is called inflation. And I do Airbnb a lot. That's one. And the other thing that I did this year, just complete aside on travel, right, is I did the Marriott Vacation Club thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, because I go to I'm in Vegas probably 4 times this year, and I can stay at the Marriott for free every single time.
Oh, good to know.
And so, exactly. So I'm going to Austin. They've got properties there, so the different properties in different places where I could just use the points that I already paid for and just stay.
Ah, smart.
Right.
I know
that's saving us a ton.
They did traffic and conversion so late into Vegas that it was at the same time as CES? CES, yeah, and AVN.
And they're moving it next year to March.
Oh, are they? Okay,
yeah,
there you go. Because I remember even just looking, because there was a possibility that they, Cosm, everybody here knows Cosm. There was somebody who backed out, and the Cosm was like, hey, throw in your name to go MC one of the stages, but it was only for a day. And even for that one day, all the hotels were like $400.
Yes.
It was just crazy.
Yes. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talked about when you first came on is you help people with video marketing. Ed was when we first started doing this podcast, Ed was really big on, hey, let's do videos. He found Opus clips. That's one that I use daily now. And, with Instagram, and Ed, you get the most traction on TikTok for you, right? Mine is Instagram.
I mean, he's TikTok sexy, so I can understand it. You and I, not so much.
Yeah.
No, the TikToks is because of my mortgage. It's Instagram's not the same.
Yeah,
you're
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried. I get traction, but nothing like I get on, either YouTube or TikTok. And it's amazing how everything's totally different. What
100%.
goes.
That's a really important point, though, and is one that people shouldn't miss when we're talking about marketing in general,
Yeah.
but specifically video marketing, is understanding where the audience is and the platforms, because not every platform is right for you. You may love Instagram, but if your customer loves TikTok, that's where you need to be.
Right.
You need
Now,
to be all of them. Period.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask
Yes.
you. What do you do for your clients?
But you're right. You're right. And I wasn't knocking what you said. I'm just like,
Yeah.
if you're not
Yeah.
one place, everyone's going to go, how come you're not on Pinterest?
Yeah.
So let me actually better qualify what I said there in terms of what I actually meant, which is create your content for TikTok. If you've got limited time and you can only create for one, figure out where they are. That's the one you focus on, and then send it everywhere else. But know that you're focused here, and you create the content for that platform and what works well on that platform. That's where you always start. It's not until you get to the place where you have enough traction and enough bandwidth to start creating different content for different channels that you should even try to do that.
Can I add to that? The
Absolutely.
problem with most people is they want to go viral and they want to do all this stuff. But when you're really creating content for your client, you should only focus on creating content for your client.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then eventually you'll go viral, but most people don't understand that. Just because you're creating content is for your client. If you only get a few looks or whatever, don't freak out, because you're trying to get to that one person that you're trying to connect with many times over. But it's just depending on, everybody's different here. We all have different things, what we're trying to do. Brian's a totally different market that could work for almost everybody. Mine right now is only for a certain age group, because those are the only people buying. And I'm sorry, I don't know what your market is. So.
Well, I work primarily with doctors.
Okay.
Right. So completely different market. My doctors aren't on TikTok.
Right.
There's a lot of doctors on there now, though.
Yeah, but not the ones I'm looking for.
Okay, not the TikTok doc that, or the one that does
I work mostly with orthopedic surgeons.
Okay,
and they're on LinkedIn, right? But that's the point. Know where they are, and that's where you need to focus. Okay, it doesn't mean our content doesn't go to TikTok, but it does mean I don't care about the TikTok statistics, because I know most of them aren't there. Right. Let me touch the viral point real quick, because that's a big one. And it gives us all the dopamine rush, the likes and all that, and everybody wants to go viral. I have a friend who, she runs an agency, and her agency actually specializes in helping people go viral. Right. And she has tons of track record in helping people go viral. And she will tell me, and she has told me, 1 out of every 50 posts go viral. And she's an expert at it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means you, Mr. Mrs. Non-expert, you're talking about like 1 every 400 or 500 posts going viral. Why the hell are you wasting your time on that?
Well, Brian, I've found an easy way to make yourself go viral. Just focus on the haters.
Yes.
Well, that does work.
Yes, it works amazingly how much it works. I wish I would have known when mine went viral a couple months ago what I know now, the way that Brian did it, because I think I helped you a little bit by saying don't hide from them, freaking engage them, because you got so many other people come to your rescue and all this other stuff. And don't hide from, because we used to go, I got this person, what do? Hide it and just move on. No, engage.
You engage.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I went back and forth with a kid who, of course, it's always a private account, the ones that want to talk trash. And I just kept battling with him last night. The guy's got 15 posts total. And he probably responded to me 20 times. I just kept responding back, just kept going. And that video is at 2.9 million views right now. So as long as people want to say something, I'll just keep going. Why not? And that's one of the things you told me, is like, just keep responding to them. Because before, I do what everybody else does, hide them or go, oh, they hurt my feelings. Now it's like, all right, let's have a conversation. Because all you know is, I think Costum brought it up on one of the talks one time, was if you get a like, it's like worth 1 point. If you get a forward, it's worth 2 or 3 points. If you get a comment, it's like 3 points for sure. And then if you respond to their comment, it's like getting 5 points.
Yep.
And the combination of Ed talking about responding to haters and that point system, it's why not respond? You have nothing to lose.
Absolutely. Well, you have everything to gain, because ultimately, what does the channel, no matter which one of the channels, care about? They care about keeping people on their platform, and they
Yes.
want
Engagement.
content that keeps people on their platform. Best way to keep someone on a platform is a conversation,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
And so if it's going back and forth and back and forth, it's like, oh man, something big's going on here,
Popcorn.
right?
Yeah.
And so yes, it absolutely works.
However, bottom line, it doesn't pay your bills.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that is the key. And so going back to your original point, which is one I make all the time too, is I'd rather get one view and one customer than a million views and no customers,
Mhm.
or
It's
even a
advantage.
million views and one customer.
Yeah.
But see,
Okay.
what for Brian on Instagram to grow his Instagram, which is a good segment for him for what he does, it's a totally
Right.
different thing than what you
Yes.
do or I do. So
And
Yeah.
so it depends on what your goals are. And so this is the other side of the conversation that we have to have with clients, is understanding, why are you on social media? Is social media, where does it fit in your proverbial funnel?
Mhm.
Right. So for example, I have some clients who are in, again, all healthcare, but it's about proof of life, because so many businesses in their industry are dying,
Mhm.
and their main lead gen is their website, but people go to their social media to prove that, are they still in business? Do I care how much your account grows? Is that really the thing that matters to them? No, it isn't.
Mm. It the industry I used to be in, that's how trade shows worked. Nobody really needed an online presence, but you had to have a big booth, because if you went in one booth smaller, then your competitors like, oh look, they're hurting for money. You got to have a big
Mhm.
booth. Got to have that big booth, and it was a waste of effing money, because all people did at a trade show is come by, see what's your free stuff that they can take
And
home
run
to their
away.
kids. Yeah, yeah. It was
Absolutely.
a necessary evil, but not. What are the things that, when people are doing videos, that people do wrong? So I know we talked before, like,
we don't have that
this,
much time.
I know, but one of the big ones is like, you're an expert in SEO along with videos, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the top one or two, and things that people need to know about doing video marketing?
Here's the biggest mistake people make, bar none. Okay. Even before we get into SEO and placement and all the other stuff,
Mhm.
here's the absolute biggest mistake. Had a client on today, his first time recording with me, and he made it. And I had to say, nope, that sucked. Let's do it again. And here's why it sucked.
Mhm.
Okay. You talk about what you care about.
Mhm.
They don't care about what you care about. They care about what they care about.
Yes.
And if you can't figure that out, if you don't know your customer well enough, if you're not in tune with your customer well enough and understand what it is they truly care about and what they need to know and deliver that, you're failing. Period. Dot. Oh, but my video gets a lot of engagement when I put it up. Yeah, but from who? From who?
Right.
I had another doctor come in and say, oh, but we get all this great engagement. And I looked at it and said, you ever notice the only people who are commenting on your videos are other doctors? How many of them are coming to you? How many of them are your patients? Understand you're not talking to the right audience about what they want to hear.
Mhm.
Biggest mistake. You can do everything else right and get that wrong, and you will still be a flop. You can get that right, do everything else wrong, and still be successful.
Hmm.
Got to get that right.
Yeah. There's a real estate coach out of Arizona. That's the first thing he tells him when he gets new realtors as his client. He's like, stop following and liking other realtors' crap. Get rid of their
Right.
stuff on your page. You need to post and stop wasting your time promoting other realtors. And it helps them, because you're right. It's nice to want to be amongst your peers in a professional setting, but if you're just working back and forth with your peers, you're not helping your business.
No, at all.
Yeah.
At all. And so one of the things, being an SEO for as long as I've been, we've come up with the 3 keys to driving traffic, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about traffic
Mhm.
at the end of the day. Whether it's a like, a comment, an eyeball on your stuff is all about traffic. Doesn't matter the platform, whether you're talking your website, social, anything. Okay. And it also doesn't matter the medium either. And here are the 3 keys, fellas, 3 keys to traffic. You master these 3, you're gold. The first one is being obsessed with your audience, which is what I said just now. You must be obsessed with your audience and understand the pain that they're in, because humans are wired to move away from pain. Oh, but I want to talk about love. Yeah, great. I love that you want to talk about love. But last time you fell in love, you did what? You sat in the couch and Netflix and chilled until you got hungry. Why? Because you felt a pain in your gut. Then you got up and moved. Pain makes people move. Understand the pain that they're in. Use that pain to do number 2. Fuel your content strategy. Your content strategy is based on the pain that they're in. If you focus there and you actually give them stuff to deal with their pain, now you're creating content that they want to consume. Then the 3rd key to traffic is understanding the platform and the SEO of that platform.
So,
right?
Yeah. For Ed, you like it. So Atiba has, I know our audience has heard it, but I don't think Atiba's heard it. What was your biggest challenge with Inner Edison for a while?
Getting people to talk about their mistakes, their failures in their business. Or they would tell me a very inexpensive one, like 20 grand worth of a mistake. I'm like, I lost that on 2 loans once. That's not a big deal. But then I got to a point where I said, it's not the price point that I might look at. For somebody, a 20 grand mistake could have destroyed them. But for me, it wouldn't have, with what I've been in, because my industry, we deal with such large dollar amount on each transaction. It's not the same thing. But I actually stopped my podcast because I got tired of. In the beginning, it was great. First 2 years, 2.5 years into it, everybody wanted to come on because it was #1 in the world kind of thing. And they're like, and they wouldn't do it. I'm like, enough is enough. And then I finally came back and said, you have to talk about your failure. Yes, it messed up my overall numbers, but I didn't care. It was about my time and what I wanted to hear and what people really wanted to hear. Other people's mistakes so they can learn from them.
Right. But that again gets back to the whole viral point, right? Like we get so caught up in wanting to go viral and wanting so many eyeballs on our thing. But if they're not the right eyeballs, who cares?
Right.
Yeah. Some of the most engagement I've ever gotten on posts are the ones where you share a vulnerable story. Like when I did the one about, hey, it's been a year since I got fired. And people are like, you got fired? I'm
Not
like,
true. Not
What's
true. Your 2.9 million that you just did had nothing to do about that.
Right. No, that's
But
true.
what I'm getting at is, so the problem, what you're saying, what he's saying to do is, the one of mine that went viral had to do is how to get cheaply into a property with a manufactured home and on a permanent foundation. So the pain was the cost of buying a house today and the payment to that's their pain. They can't afford it. It was the one that went viral, was how to afford it less. That's what he's talking about. So the same thing with you being vulnerable, that went viral, but the ones that you went more viral on is because the engagement. So his statement would be, for you would be, this is just what I'm hearing, and tell me if I'm wrong, would be, okay, I don't know how to talk to somebody. I don't know how to ask for this, to get a raise on my job. That could be the pain point for them. You could tell them how to do that, and that one would go viral because of the pain point. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. And or the pain point of getting fired and having to deal.
Yeah.
Right. And that and this is one of the beauties of stories. And so we talk about this in content a lot, right? That yes, there's what you want to tell, there's a story that you overlay, and then there's the lesson that comes out of it, right? That's what makes a parable. And the beauty of parables is they're memorable, right? And they stick with you and they mean something to you, and they mean something to the people who need to hear them. And that's the key, because that ultimately is what moves the needle in your bank account. And y'all, let's talk about that. That's what it's all about. You can get 50,000 comments on a video, right? And then can't pay your mortgage and go to the bank and say, hey, but I got 50,000 comments. And the bank's going to say, and you can't pay your mortgage in likes.
Right.
But Brian, back to your statement about, you're right. When you told everybody about you losing your job on Facebook, a lot of people commented and talked to you that never talked to you before, and you're correct.
Exactly.
But not on, if you post that on Instagram, you wouldn't have got the same thing.
No,
so again, it depends.
Yeah, it was a post, not a video. Definitely on Instagram and everything. Videos are definitely kicking ass compared to everything else. Reels. The funniest complaint right now I get from people is, well, I want to see longer. I'm like, well, but Instagram doesn't reward me for doing longer than 60 seconds. People are like, well, I
No,
don't
they
have to
do
watch
90.
multiple
Go up to
videos.
90 seconds now.
Are they up to 90 now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's the challenge is YouTube is still 60 seconds. You go 61 seconds and it's not a short.
Not short anymore.
Yeah.
Turn
So
it
I just
sideways.
yeah. It just frustrates
Turn
me.
it side. You got Pro. You can turn it sideways and turn it into a 90-minute and upload it. Yeah.
So Brian, the thing that I would tell you on that is then create series. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you've got, and if the audience wants more and the platform won't allow you to do it, then say, okay, this is part 1 and talk for 50 seconds and then intro part 2, click the link in the description, which will take you to part 2.
Yeah. That's what I need to do. I've been pushing people to YouTube and saying I'll put out longer content now that Opus can do longer content.
Yeah, but see, Instagram doesn't like that because you're causing people to leave the platform to go to YouTube.
Yes,
and it does not like that at all.
Correct.
Right, because you don't do that on both those platforms. You keep doing what you're doing on Instagram, just but then do the series on, or you could do a series on Instagram also.
Yeah,
is what he's saying. Do the series on each one, but separately, and where you go to the same one on the same one. Because I saw the other day that YouTube, you go like, is this part 1 or part 2? You can do multiple parts.
Yeah.
Question for you, because you're talking about multiple platforms. Are you a fan of uploading in the native app, or do you use a scheduling software?
We do both.
You do both.
Yeah, we do both, and it depends on. That's a tough thing. Okay. And it's a tough thing because, especially for us, we're an agency, and so we've got tons of clients, and doing it in the native app just takes a long time.
Right.
But you get better results. And so very often what we'll do with our clients is we do have that one platform that we focus on, and then content goes to all the rest of them. And so that one platform we'll do native, and the rest of them we'll schedule. Okay. Because it just
so TikTok you can schedule inside, YouTube you can schedule inside. So it's just Instagram. I mean, I don't like Facebook's, scheduler personally. Do you use High Level?
So we don't use the High Level scheduler. We are using, oh my gosh, now you asked me that and it just went out my brain. It'll come back to me before we're done. The tool that we use.
You don't like High Level?
It's
because I started using it. Yeah.
It's not that we don't like High Level. It's just as an agency with all of our clients, we didn't want, it's too much to manage inside. Yeah. We didn't want that. And it wasn't giving us the stats that we wanted on the back end, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we did not go that route. Let me find out the name. I got to look this up because I don't remember.
Sure. While you're looking that up, kind of what you were talking about before is you have to know you're talking to the audience and not just what you want to talk about. And so Ed's got a good parable with that of being on the radio. Ed, you learn not to call them listeners. And why?
Because when you tell them you talk to you. Because when you call them listeners, they're like, oh, they're not talking to me. They're talking to that other person over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got to connect with them. Yeah.
It's one of the big things. And so when I do coaching with people on camera, like I just did it with the guy this morning, first time on camera, the point here, because he started off and he stumbled some, and I said, okay, again, he's a public speaker. He's used to being on stage, but he's like, it's a camera. I don't have anybody there. I'm like, yeah. Okay. So when you're on stage and you're connecting with the audience, what are you looking for? And he said, well, I'm looking out, and it says, are you looking for a smile? He said, no, I don't really care about the smiles. I'm looking for the person who's nodding their head. Right. And he said, so what you need to do when you're on camera is imagine you're talking to that person only. See them. And I literally see them sitting behind the camera. Okay. This is how I do it. See them sitting behind the camera and they're nodding their head. And I'm talking to them. Again, getting back to being obsessed with your audience. Right. I'm obsessed with that one person who needs this one thing, who has this one pain point that I'm talking to right now. As I'm talking to you directly, listen to me. Stop talking to everyone when you're on camera. Yes, you, I'm talking to you. See, and so that's what we do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was smiling because my American Bully's trying to break down my studio door.
It's funny because you mentioned Dennis Yu earlier.
Let me in.
He talked about that one time. I was watching something. I don't remember if it was on Clubhouse back when, but he said every time he looks in the camera when he's filming something, he pictures it as one eyeball of his ideal client, and that's who he's making the video for. So then you stop thinking about you and does my, is my hair okay? Is all this kind of stuff? How's my outfit? You're talking to the one person that's in that lens, to their eyeball. It makes perfect sense.
Yes. And the flip side is, I understand the challenge that people have, right? Because we're used to consuming mass media, right? Especially if you've got any kind of grays on your body, you grew up watching TV news and news anchors, right? And they spoke to the masses, right? And so you're used to that, and you feel like that's what you're being right now, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a lie.
I'm reading Jen Gottlieb's book, Be Seen. And she talks about that it's fear of rejection that we all have. So when you start doing videos, you instead of thinking about who you can help, it's, well, who will hate this and who will talk trash and who will reject me for it. And that's where a lot of it comes in. Is the scariest thing is sometimes just hitting that post when it's you versus stealing a meme or anything else where it's not really judging you at the exact same time.
Yeah. So here's real talk on that for a moment. You probably exist in one out of two camps. Either you have a team, an assistant, or someone, or it's just you. Okay. You're in one of those two camps. I've been in both of those camps. So let me tell you how I dealt with it. Okay. I would get my phone, do a recording, and the moment the recording was done, I would go to YouTube and I would hit post. I would not watch it. I would not critique it. I would not edit it even. I would just go post it, because the longer it takes from the time you stop recording to the time you post is the more likely you'll never post it. So shorten that time, post it right. Oh, but Atiba, it's not perfect. Guess what? If someone walked into your office right now and asked you a question and you had a conversation with them, the conversation you have with them is not going to be perfect. You're not a news anchor. You're not looking for perfection. People are looking to connect with you. So post it. Now, if you have a team like I do now, I record and I send it to them, and I don't even know when it's posted.
That's good.
Okay. I've taken that luxury away from myself so that they can go figure that out, and I don't have to second guess myself.
Since we both know, we all know Pam Pryor, she posts her screw ups and her bloopers reels because she's like, that's the best way to get over it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was going to tell you that on radio, they don't fix it for a reason. It's supposed to be live. So, and if you're on news, they don't retake it. They're stuck with it. That's how you should do your videos, because then people know you're real. Super edited stuff, people don't want to see.
No.
Right.
If you make a mistake, who cares? Keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that it's weird. I shouldn't say it's weird. I understand, but it's still weird. We think that people exist differently than we do. Look, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. The last 7 years have sucked. Okay. Don't choose your political party. It sucked. Okay. And the reality is, we're all in a place today in 2024 where we're a little bit leery of Big Brother. We're a little bit leery of big corporation because we don't know what actually is going on. And yeah, we all are. We all are. And what we're yearning for is connection with real people that we do business with. If you think about yourself, that's where you are. Why in the hell do you think your customer isn't there too? Why do you think your customer wants this overly produced, polished, perfect thing if you don't?
It's because it's what we've been taught. I can't remember who was saying it earlier. Actors, actresses, we used to watch mainstream movies, produce television shows. But what we found out is when people could start just with a phone, that's what we watched more than something we know was overly produced.
Yep.
So funny story with you and I. We met at the speakeasy here in Dallas, right? Well, we met before at Traffic and Conversion. Then when you were here, we talked, and then you and I had a call. And something you said earlier in today was you have to learn about your customer and be obsessed with your customer. So you and I were talking, and you kind of thought this crap can't be real. And so we brought up a picture of the doctor that you were going to be talking to, and we taught you how to change the pitch. So it wasn't what you wanted to pitch, but how would they best understand it? And just by making those minor tweaks, you ended up with a customer.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So taking that same analogy, that's what you're doing with videos is you're making it about who's going to be watching it or consuming it, not who's producing it. Is that a fair way to see it?
It's perfect. It's perfect. Right. We have to stop being narcissistic and selfish.
Mm-hmm. I told Ed and I joke because he's in California. And so everything is on his coast, his time. I'm central, you're Eastern. So I call that time zone narcissism, right? Because we all know what time it is for us, but we have to stop and think, okay, what time is it for Ed?
For them,
what time is it for Atiba?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, it's most important about what time it is for me.
What's that?
I said it's most important what time it is for me when it's scheduled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I got a lot on my schedule.
I was going to say.
Mondays are my worst day. I do all my video. I'd say 90% of my video on Monday.
Well, then Thursdays you've got Rotary, and then you've got all
I got so much other stuff. That's one of the reasons I'm not at the masterminds this year, because I'm the president of my Rotary. And I'm going to tell you, running every week an event has made it totally different for me. Being up and I just totally stand up there, walk. The difference between me and the past president is I walk all over the place, which really makes people uncomfortable. It really does, because they're used to someone being up front. But if you walk in the audience they don't know what you're going to do, and I don't know if you've ever been to Rotary, but it's fun and joke, especially ours. And there's this back table that's the most rowdy. I used to sit there. I'll be going back there after, in a couple more months, but they'll be making stuff up, and I'll just walk over there, and everybody's like laughing as I'm standing there, because these guys don't know I'm standing there till they turn, and they're like, "Oh shit," So it's about, but it's interacting so much with the audience that I never did before.
Right. But that's what people want to know, that you're real and you're there, right? And what you're doing in person is exactly the point of what we're talking about doing online, on social, in video. People want to know you're real.
Or even when you're back on stage, because I wasn't this easy when I was on the stages before. It's totally different now.
Yeah.
Now it's like, it's old, but I mean, everybody's nervous. And that's the other thing people don't realize. When people go and speak on stage, I don't care who you are. Most people are nervous going up there, because they're like, they're rethinking about, what if I forget something? Yeah.
I have a whole nervous freakout cycle that I go through every time I get on stage.
And the amount of people everybody assumes if you're on stage, you're an extrovert to the nth degree, and they don't see the people freaking out before, and the ones who have to go and recharge the minute they walk off the stage. That was the biggest kind of when we got behind the scenes. One is you give the same speech a lot. I thought everybody gets up and creates a brand new one every single time. No, they don't. And the second one was how many people that are up there that can own a stage, and they're depleted the minute they walk off the stage. And so sometimes
that's me.
That's me.
So tired now. Yeah. Every Thursday, like, don't even bother me. I go home, I take a nap for an hour, and then I go back to work.
Yeah. And whoever it was that said it, they said that's because the people who are sharing the message aren't making it about them. They're up there to share out of their comfort zone to help someone else, and then they have to go back and recharge when they're done. And so, sometimes we think, oh, these speakers, they have to just hang out in the green room. Sometimes it's for their recovery, and then they'll come out and talk to other people. But the amount of ones that are that way, that green room stage, green room home, it's for a reason, not narcissistic snottiness or pretentiousness. It's just that's how they recharge when they're done sharing.
Yeah, very much so. Atiba, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
No, thank y'all, man. It's been a fun conversation.
We should do a part 2.
Absolutely.
We'll do a series, because we didn't even get to SEO really. So,
right.
Or anything else. We kind of just broke it down a little bit. But because I know you at the top of the hour, you have something to do, so we don't want to keep you over. Your clients are important.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate y'all. This has been fun. Seriously, let's do it again real soon.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll ping you a little bit later on, because I know you'll be back in town later this week, so we'll try and meet up.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, Am I bringing us? No, you're bringing us out. That's right.
I'll
Brian.
take us out. All right.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today with our special guest, Atiba. Ed, as always, it's great to have you here. The best way you can support us is subscribe. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday, it's Ed and I arguing back and forth when we have some good points. And then on Thursdays, we have special guests like Atiba who share a little bit of knowledge with you to help you get just that much farther ahead. So everybody, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks for being here, both of you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, gentlemen.